Welcome to the Millennial Monologues podcast, where we talk about anything and everything relating to the millennial lifestyle. We are your hostesses with the mostesses. My name is Alyssa.
And my name is Lexi, and today we have a special guest.
This is Sierra.
Hello.
Say hi, Sierra.
Yay.
Today, we are going, not you, we are going to be chatting with Sierra about her story because she's got a unique story to share with us, and we're very excited to hear all about it. So,
all the details.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on today and sharing your story with us. We're very excited.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me.
Of course, of course. So, and we've got lots of pictures, and that'll be fun when we get to that.
Yeah.
But first, go ahead and talk about, just introduce yourself, where you're from, what you do for a living, things like that. Just a normal introduction.
Okay. Well, like Alyssa said, my name is Sierra. And I work as a personal banker right now. And I'm still in school. I go to TWU. And I'm studying in government and legal studies.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. What do you want to do with that?
To be determined.
To be determined. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a
She's
sounds like a great path, though.
government and legal studies.
Right.
Duh.
Okay, my bad.
That's what I want to do with that.
Cool. So, well, the reason why we asked you to come on today is because you, were one of those people that got to experience motherhood at a very young age. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about just the age that, that happened for you and just whatever you want to share with us regarding that story. So take it away.
Okay. Well, I guess to start out with, basically, I got pregnant at 17 years old. It was the summer before my senior year of high school. And obviously, it came as a complete shock.
Yeah.
I was not planning on getting pregnant at 17 or anytime soon after. Mm-hmm. But basically, I had to decide whether I wanted to continue, getting my high school diploma or if I wanted to get my GED. I know, basically everyone was torn different ways, especially like my family, I was getting a lot of different advice as to what to do. Like if I should, place the baby for adoption or, the other option.
It seems like everyone has their opinion whenever you're that young.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's just kind of like throwing their stuff at you. And you I'm sure you were so confused. And
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This really just says how young I was whenever this happened. Is my first thought after taking the pregnancy test was, oh my gosh, I can't play basketball anymore.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so true.
So
yeah.
that was my first thought. It wasn't even, oh, I'm about to have a baby or I'm,
Right.
I have to tell my parents or what am I going to do for my life? It was like, oh, I can't play a sport anymore.
Yeah.
Were you
Well,
really serious about basketball?
I really enjoyed it. I really did like it. And, my senior year, it was an important year.
Yeah,
So-
senior year is always the most important year, I think, for like sports teams and
Right.
things. Yeah, because, it's your last time to like do all that. And I'm sure, again, being that young, I'm sure that was a huge
So
issue.
what was it like telling your parents and your friends?
And the dad.
So, yeah, basically I had taken a pregnancy test and it was, I guess, faulty. The chances of that, the first one was faulty. And then I had to take a second one, and after that one,
God, that must have been
confirmed
so
it.
nerve-wracking. Like,
Oh, it was
of course
awful.
this one
I
didn't
had
work.
to wait to
God.
take another one. So
And that's like the longest, like, what is it, like a minute? Like the longest minute
oh
of
my
your
gosh,
life?
yes,
Oh, God.
yes, absolutely.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, I had found out that I was pregnant. I was at a friend's house, actually, so we all just cried together.
Oh my God.
We were like, what are we going to do? It turned into a group ordeal, not even...
Oh, like, what are we going to do?
What are we going to do? We're all
So
crying.
amazing.
That's actually
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, my friends, these group of friends were really supportive, and, they were like, oh, don't tell your parents right away.
Yeah.
Like,
God, that
I
would
grew
be-
up in a very conservative household, so it was not a very easy thing to deal with. But basically, I just went home, literally walked in the door, just started bawling, and
Oh
I
my
told my
gosh.
parents. So
You told them
Yeah.
together?
I just like literally yelled it out.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I was like, I'm pregnant.
At least you got it out there.
Yeah, that's
there was no
honestly-
going back after
Yeah.
that.
Just rip the Band-Aid off. Yeah,
Right.
just forget it. Yeah, how else do you even go about that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
just no other, especially at that age.
Because then if you hide it in, like, you'd be holding it in for so long and it would just be building up. And every time you
yeah.
like eat dinner, you're like, oh my
Do I
God,
say
they
it
don't
now?
know. no.
Yeah, exactly.
That would probably be the worst part of being pregnant that young. So it's a good thing that
Yeah.
that didn't even happen for you.
You're right. Yeah, it was just the scariest thing is just not knowing like what you're gonna do.
How did your parents initially react to the news?
They were very surprised and very upset. I mean, obviously. It was, like I said, unplanned. Me and the dad weren't together necessarily. It was just more so us being stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
And but obviously a great blessing came out of it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Trayson my son Trayson, he's amazing. So
He's definitely
let's see a picture
changed
of
your
him.
life.
Look at him.
Oh my
he's so
goodness.
cute. Oh my gosh.
How long ago was that picture taken?
So he's 6 now. So he would have been maybe 5 months in that picture.
That's such a good picture.
That's my favorite picture.
That's such a good one. You sent us some really good ones for this. I was like, yes.
I couldn't decide.
Yeah, no, we're using all of them, just so you know.
Awesome. Okay.
Cool. So you tell your parents, they're upset. What do you even do after that? Did they make you, take another test? I mean, were they like, are you sure?
Or did they instantly say like you can't keep him or this baby or like what did they
Yeah,
want?
they were very strong advocates for adoption. They were really pushing towards that option because of my age, because of, I didn't even know where I wanted to go to college at that time.
Yeah,
It was like everything was just up in the air at that point. But
Yeah, I'm sure that was really tough to deal with, at first. But again, you got probably the best blessing in your entire life from it. So talk a little bit about like what the hardest struggle was during the pregnancy, and then we'll get into the good parts after that.
Okay, yeah. Definitely the hardest part about my pregnancy was being in high school pregnant.
Yeah. Did you suffer from any like bullying or anything in school?
Yeah, people were not very nice to me. And it wasn't at my high school. It was mostly at, I guess like the dad's high school. And it was more so, I guess like maybe people in his class. I'm not really sure. I don't think it was, anything that was, that he had started per se. But I mean, basically like I was working at Target at the time. And there was these 2 girls that came up to my job and were like taking pictures of my stomach and stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did they bully the father as much as they like
No.
bullied you?
No.
Why is it like that? That's so frustrating.
Such a double.
It was all my fault, didn't you know?
Yeah, I did this all myself.
You can
yeah.
see it on me,
Really?
but you can't see it on him. So
Exactly.
Yikes.
God, that's insane.
So you said that you and the dad were not together whenever this happened. So
Yeah.
how much of a role did he play during the pregnancy?
After maybe like 2 months, we kind of like completely broke off contact. I don't know.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was just kind of one of those things. It was really hard for everyone. It was really hard for the families, and at one point, like both of our families had sat down together, and
Discussed.
no one agreed on what to do.
Yeah.
So it just kind of added to it. But
Oh, so you never
yeah.
came to like a solid conclusion, like his family and your family
no.
came together.
Not me, not my family, not his family. Nobody,
my gosh.
nobody was on the same page.
So was everything up to you and your decision what to do with him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Good.
it was-
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why. Like you're the mom.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's how it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And if he didn't want to play a role as a father anyway, then his opinion really shouldn't have anything to do with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so then after the struggling with the bullying and things like that, what made you decide to go ahead and finish off high school?
It wasn't even an option to me. It was, the question was up in the air, but I was going to finish high school.
Yeah.
I was going to finish college. I'm still going to finish college. It's just, circumstances, things happen.
Right.
You,
It's like the
you
way,
don't,
yeah.
you don't say, oh, well, I just won't get that. I'll get something else. No, you follow through with it.
Yeah.
So I already had my mind made up as far as that went.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So then one day the baby comes.
Yep. Yeah.
Talk about that day. Was the father involved that day? Was your family involved that day? What happened the day
What do you
everything
remember?
changed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, my son was actually a month early. So we weren't really, I guess you could say, all the way prepared.
Yeah.
Obviously, we still had a couple more weeks to go, but basically I went into labor one night and went to the hospital, had the baby. My parents were there, my family was there. I had probably like half the high school, my friends, come and see the baby. The dad, he didn't see Trayson, I think, for like 2 weeks. And his mom was the first one to see him. She came over and saw him first, but.
Do you know why, this might get a little personal and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but do you know why the dad was so set on being uninvolved? Was he maybe questioning, like, if that was his? I mean, I know it sounds kind of dumb since you were so young, but do you think that was why? I mean, do you know why?
Yeah, I don't think that was why. And I think it was more so just it wasn't planned, and we weren't together. It was just one of those, like, we both knew that we had messed up. And
I think it's easier for the guy, the male, to just walk away because he doesn't have to carry the baby. So it's like, oh, I can pretend like this didn't happen and just like move on with my life, but you can't do that. So I think that could have been, like, especially for a 16, 17-year-old boy, that it just seems like, like, oh, it's just another girlfriend that I'm just going to break up with, like, type of thing. So that's kind of how I see it, like, with younger relationships when the dad leaves.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense. All right. So the day of, he's not really there, not for 2 weeks. Ziggy, did you have a question?
I did, yeah. I know that we might not necessarily be there just yet, but I was wondering, what advice would you give to someone who finds themselves in that situation? Like, even before carrying the baby to term and raising the child, like, if someone finds themselves in that situation, whether they have support or not, what do you think someone would have said to you that would have helped you in that time?
Good question.
It's interesting you asked that, because I've always said I wish I could go back and tell myself that everything was going to be okay, because I would have saved myself a lot of hurt and a lot of pain, trying to get through those things that I was going through, by myself. So my advice is, it's going to be okay. Everything will work out. Honestly, pray.
Yeah.
God will be there for you in your time of need. Honestly, that's probably the only way that I got through it, because there was some really, really, really hard times, and I'm sure there will continue to be occasionally. And anyone that's young that has a baby, especially unexpectedly, it's really, really hard. And even for the people around them, it's hard. So any support that you're able to offer, it all goes like a really long way.
That's awesome. So talk about your support then. I know that, your parents, were a little unhappy at the beginning. His parents were obviously, not about it either. So what did you, who'd you lean on the most? I know you said you had a good group of friends. Talk about just the support from each person that you received support from, and what it was and what it meant to you.
Yeah. So I'll start with my parents. My parents are definitely, even now, they're my biggest support system. Without them, I mean, I don't know how I would do it. I really don't. So, as far as
just all of it, financially,
yeah,
emotionally.
I can't even begin to say how much they've done for me and for my son. It's just amazing. So. I have everything to thank them for.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As far as my friends go, I had a couple of friends in particular, and they know who they are, but they definitely stuck with me through the pregnancy and stuff. Would listen while I called crying at 2 in the morning, like the world is falling apart, or crying because my pants didn't fit anymore.
Yeah.
But they were really great and able to be there.
Awesome. And you're still friends with those girls from high school too?
I am, yes.
I found that a lot of the times when girls get pregnant, they complain that, like, they're losing a lot of their friends. Did you notice that some people would act like they're like going to go to the baby shower and we're going to like be there with you every step of the way, and then they're just kind of like nowhere to be found when the baby's born.
That is very true. Very correct. Yeah. It would blow your mind to think, you know, the people, oh, I'm so excited for the baby. Oh, you know, we're going to do this. I'm going to be the aunt. I'm going to be the uncle, blah, 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 you know, what people say. And then, you know, as soon as the baby comes, they come see the baby once and then they're gone. It's kind of just, oh, well, want to hang out?
That was a
you
fun
have the
phase.
baby. Oh, never mind. Okay. So then you just kind of fall off.
Yeah.
Well, at least that way you learn who your real friends are anyways. It's quality over quantity, right? So
Exactly.
that's how I've always felt about it, at least.
Yeah.
So.
Especially at that age. Yeah, I can't help but think when you were saying that one thing about your pants not fitting, that really like struck something with me, because at that age, when you're 17 years old, you're still growing and you're still learning who you are and developing, and now all of a sudden, even just being a normal teenage girl, that's so hard. Like,
Body image is so,
you know, your pants that always fit you not fitting for any girl is so devastating.
Oh, yeah.
But then on top of that, when you all of a sudden are like so much bigger, I can't even imagine, like, what did that do for you mentally with your body changing and realizing, you know, like,
Oh
the
my
swollen
gosh.
feet and
This conversation, yes. I want to go back and change the hardest thing about pregnancy.
yeah, right?
Because definitely watching yourself gain a lot of weight. I mean, honestly, I gained probably close to 60. I mean, most people gain anywhere from like 40 to 50.
yeah, because you're I can tell you're a naturally small framed girl, so gaining
not
that much weight-
always though. Not always. I actually, like, throughout high school, I was kind of overweight. I mean, I would say I was in shape, I guess. But I'm
Yeah,
actually
you were an athlete,
smaller.
right, is what you said, so.
Yeah, I was an athlete, but definitely, yeah, watching yourself gain that kind of weight and knowing that it's not going anywhere anytime soon is it's hard.
And you can't really do anything about it either, you know, until the baby gets here. So
And even after the baby gets there, that weight's not going anywhere.
So did your
Good to know.
diet change at all, or the things that you were you like, oh man, I can't drink this much coffee anymore? How did your whole lifestyle change with that?
Well, so I did not drink any soda the whole pregnancy, which isn't required, but
It's a
you
good thing
It's
anyway.
a good thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll do
Yeah.
that. And then I had some really weird cravings, if y'all want to hear about
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
tell us
Tell us
all of the weird
all about the
cravings.
weird cravings.
So, mangoes. Like whole mangoes.
Like eat them like apples or what?
Oh, no, not like with the skin, but yeah. But yeah, like peel off the skin, then eat it like
Oh
an
my
apple.
God.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
So I'd eat that. This is my favorite. Burnt popcorn. Like
What?
charred black burnt popcorn
You craved it?
with butter and salt all over it. Like just drenched.
Oh
Yes.
my God, that is hilarious.
That's probably why I
long
gained
would
a
you
lot
put
of
it?
weight.
Maybe. How long did you put it in the microwave for?
All the ice cream, everything.
Oh my God, how long did you put it in the microwave for?
4 minutes.
Long enough for it to smell really, really bad.
Popcorn button 3
Oh,
times.
I bet your whole family was like,
Oh, they did. They stopped buying popcorn. Like,
Oh my God.
I remember specifically my dad was really upset about it because I was burning it so
Oh
often.
my God, that is hilarious.
that is so weird. I
Yeah.
wonder why we get such weird cravings.
Yeah, why
It's
is
weird.
that? How does the baby
know.
even know what it
I
wants?
don't know.
When it's never
is it
had
the baby or is it you?
I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I've never thought about
don't
it
know.
before.
Like, I don't even know. I don't know.
We obviously know nothing about this kind of
we've
stuff.
never
so-
been pregnant. We have no idea. So we're like getting everything from you.
Yeah, we're like, you need to tell us all the things
Yeah.
before we go to that. So that's hilarious. All those weird cravings. That is
Yeah.
so funny. I've always been curious about what I'm going to crave.
Well, what about like
eventually.
pickles and
Who
ice
knows?
cream? Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's such a
that's
common
like
I've heard
stereotype.
that's
stereotype.
really common. Ice cream for sure, but I've always liked ice cream. I'll eat
Yeah.
ice cream any day of the week.
I
but-
love pickles, so I mean,
Yeah, pickles and ice cream. I mean, it really wasn't that big of a craving. I guess there was one other really weird thing.
Tell us. Tell us now.
Artificial crab meat, like the kind that comes on sushi.
That's so specific.
It's disgusting, right?
Can you buy jars of that?
Yes.
She's like, yes.
She's like,
Yes,
oh yeah,
you
you can buy
can.
them. Yeah, I'll tell you where you can buy them.
Oh wow.
That is so funny.
Yeah,
That's
talk about
crazy.
weird.
What else?
That's definitely
That's it.
That's
okay,
that's
those
as
three.
weird as it
those,
gets.
Those
yeah.
are some good ones. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so weird cravings. Okay, so you lived with your parents, right? Did they have like a spare room set aside, or did they put them in your room? How did y'all like figure out the living dynamic?
Yeah, so Trayson was born in February of 2012. I had graduated early. I actually graduated early in January. So
awesome.
I really, yeah, thanks. And I really wasn't. I wasn't. I completely like lost.
No, it's okay. So he was born in February, and then where'd you put him?
Where'd I put him? He was in my,
do with this?
he was in my room.
It's like an angel.
There he is again. Yeah,
he is such an angel.
So we shared a room up until I left for college. That was the point of what I was trying to get at. So yeah, we shared a room for about 6 months or so at my parents' house until I moved out. Yeah.
Okay. And so whenever you went to college, where did you go originally?
I went to UNT.
UNT. Okay, so University of North Texas.
That's
so
at UNT.
There we go.
That picture.
That's such a good. Oh, I love it. So you went there, and
so
did
young
he
to be walking in that picture.
Yeah,
Did he learn early?
He was actually close to 1 in that picture. Wow. He just had no hair for a really long time.
You look really young too. That's such a good picture.
Yeah, that's cute.
So then you move out. Do you take him with you?
Yes, I took him with me. So at 18, I moved out, moved into my own apartment at the UNT off campus. Got him enrolled in daycare. And tried to make that work.
I was about to say, so financially, where were you at? You know what I mean? If you don't mind answering.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Is daycare expensive?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. You would not believe
I don't
how
know
expensive.
anything.
No, daycare is so expensive.
Let me ask you, how much do you think a week?
A week, like at least like $200 to $300? Right. Is it more
How
than
much do
that?
I think? Hold on, let me think about it.
I only say
I
like,
would think, does it, and this
Go
is
ahead.
just my total ignorance, is it by like hour? Like, do you leave them there for an hour and then it's like?
No, not hourly. It's usually like weekly.
Okay. Weekly?
Yeah.
Like $400?
Okay.
You're
so it's
highballing
not-
me on purpose.
Yeah. It's not that much. It is $250
That's
Okay.
yeah,
That
but
is still a lot.
week?
a week. Yeah, so that's
That's $1,000 a month. Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah, so at that time, my rent was as much as my childcare.
Yeah.
So
were we working?
yeah, luckily, and you know, I call this almost not an incentive, but I guess one of the perks of being a single mom, one of the few. But you will get a lot of financial aid for school, and
That's good.
So
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
it's like it
Schools do
gives
that.
single moms, single parents incentive to go to school, like if they can have school paid for, which
Oh,
is
UNT
a really
UNT
nice thing.
has like a child care thing, don't they?
They do, but they have to be 3 or older.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, that excluded Trayson. Yeah.
Okay, so you enroll him in daycare, plus paying rent, plus going to school, and being 18.
Yeah.
All the while doing
Nosy
everything.
question: does the father ever provide any money for daycare or anything? Because I feel like that's something
Child support, you mean?
Child support, yeah.
His family does. Yeah.
Okay,
I
still
can leave
to
it
this
at
day?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Me and his mom
That's
have a great relationship. So
Oh, awesome.
that's
yeah,
awesome.
she's awesome.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. Does she ever say anything about, her son not being involved to you, or does she kind of just stay out of like y'all's relationship?
Yeah, I mean it's I think it may be kind of difficult for her, I know if I was in her shoes, I wouldn't want to talk bad about my son.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And kind of keep those opinions to myself, but I know she views me as like her own daughter, so I think we have a really
That's
really
lucky.
good relationship.
So
and-
she really wants to be in Trayson's life then.
Oh yeah, she is a very she's our advocate, definitely.
okay.
So
Yeah.
does she, so he obviously knows who she is, right?
Yeah.
Trayson?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so has he, another nosy question, has he ever asked about his dad?
Yeah, I mean he knows his dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his dad just was at college far away, and so Trayson only did see him a couple times a year, if that. And then I know whenever he graduated, he came back, I guess it was this last summer, and saw him every couple of weeks. So Trayson does know who he is, and Trayson, you know, adores him. As,
okay, good, yeah.
As, you know, kids look up to their dad.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
Yeah.
You know,
What are you gonna do? Yeah,
now he's out of the country for a year, so
okay.
it's I guess you could say it's kind of different as far as him actually being here, and
Right.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay, well, I mean, I think that's important that, you know, he obviously, like, it's cool that you are allowing that, even though, like, your relationship with the dad wasn't always amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that, especially being so young, like, maybe, like, maturity levels, like, they'll be like, oh, you don't want to be involved. I'm not letting you, you know, whatever. So I've seen a lot of that. So
Pretty mature.
It's
Yeah.
admirable of
Make that
you to, you know, allow that to happen. So that's awesome.
So you're in school. Is schoolwork hard and working at the same time you're parenting too?
yes.
I know it's hard, but
let me put y'all in.
Was it
Ask
easy?
this very obvious question.
Please elaborate on how hard.
There we go.
Very hard.
How did you do
it? Like, I don't know. I still don't know.
It's
like,
a blur.
It probably is and was.
I mean, honestly, my first year at college, I didn't do it, basically. I mean, I failed almost all of my classes, and that's kind of why I don't want to say I gave up. I gave up going to school for a little bit. So I did just go back like 2 years ago. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, then you didn't give up. You just took a delay.
Took a pause.
At that time, I definitely, took a pause. We'll go with that.
Pause.
Yeah.
This is nicer.
So what, like, what brought you to that point, do you think? Besides, like, just the failing of classes, I'm sure there was a lot of other stuff going on, too, that, you know, maybe pushed you to that limit to say, you know what, this isn't for me?
Well, it's not that, like, school wasn't for me. It was just things that were really, really hard, and I felt like alone at the time. And I mean, honestly, I was really depressed at that point after, you know, failing everything.
Yeah.
You know, and thinking that I was going to, you know, succeed in school, and I was going to be okay, and I was going to be that girl that, you know, graduated even though I had a baby. Like, I just had that set in my mind, like I was going to do it, and it was going to be, nothing was going to change from my original plan, basically. And it definitely did. It's, you know, it's not easy, and it's still, you know, it's hard. Like, for example, I mean, in school now and working full time, I mean, I take my lunch break at 3 o'clock so that I can go pick up my son from school and take him to his daycare and then go back to work. Like, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Many sacrifices, I'm sure, have been made, you know, on your part, like, to handle that situation. So, again, super admirable. So, what else do you think that you've, like, sacrificed, like, just in general, just to make sure that you provide, like, Trayson a good life?
Yeah. I feel like everything that I do kind of in some way is for
revolves around
him.
him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, literally everything, work, school. Why am I doing those things? Well, to be able to provide the best life for my son.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. So, you're in school, you fail, you decide to stop. Well, sorry. Well, I mean, whatever.
Yes.
We've all failed classes, am I right? I mean, who hasn't?
Literally.
So, what did you do when you decided to take a pause from school? Did you move back home?
Yes. So I moved back home, kind of picked up like serving jobs and didn't get anywhere in 2 years. So I was just decided, okay, am I okay with this? Am I okay with this being my life? Or am I going to change stuff, and am I going to give my son something better?
Yeah.
So that's what I was aiming for, and got a good job at a bank, and, you know, went back to school. So
Awesome. So how long have you been in school now?
So, I mean, I'm in my little, like, middle of my junior year, I guess you could say. So, I mean, from the time I've graduated, it's been like 6 years.
You're like so
But,
close.
yeah,
You're
I'm so close. I'm
Yeah.
almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, when are you supposed to be graduating?
It'll be the spring of 20. So
Awesome.
A year and a
Nice.
half. But
Yeah.
it's closer than I've
No,
ever
that's
been.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
It's really close.
Yay. So, what was like was there like any specific instance that made you say, you know what, I'm going back to school right now? Like, what, or was it just like over time you were thinking about it?
I honestly don't know.
You just decided one day.
Yeah, honestly, I think so. It was, started at my new job, didn't have a degree, and I think I knew I could only get up so far. So, I wanted to go back to school, wanted to finish what I started.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Cool. So now you're back, and now you have your son, and everything's just golden, right? I mean, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So now just share with us, I guess, y'all's journey together. Like, has it, as you guys have gone on, I'm sure, like vacations and things, like just share with us like some of your favorite memories and moments with him.
Okay. Well, I will definitely say life with Trayson is quite an adventure. We actually recently, the last 2 years, we've gone to SeaWorld. That's one of his favorite places. He loves orca whales specifically. And I did promise him I would say on air that Trayson's favorite animal is a snake.
Cool.
He really wanted me to let y'all know that.
That is a cool favorite animal.
I love snakes.
You should get him a pet snake.
Yeah, a lot of people are
has
afraid
one.
of snakes.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I like snakes too. I don't mind them
I
at all.
don't really
Yeah.
get the
Oh
fear
my
of them.
gosh.
Do you not like them?
No, I do, and I've never met anybody else
really?
that does.
Oh, yeah,
so
no.
I'm very surprised.
I don't
I'm all
get
about
why people
'em.
freak out about snakes. Like
The only thing I
love
don't like is that you have to
holding
feed them mice, and that's sad to me.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
is
only
a little
thing.
weird.
That's the only thing that makes me like sad about him. But otherwise, I think they're cool.
So I have a question for Trayson.
Okay.
What is his favorite snake?
A California king snake.
Nice.
Or an anaconda.
Those are good answers.
He
I
would
have
say
no
that
idea what a
exactly.
California king snake is, but I'm sure it's really cool.
I imagine it being like a California bed. A king bed.
It's a
Just a
snake
giant
that
snake in it.
hunts and eats other snakes.
What?
That's actually right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Zicky knows everything. He does this to us all the time.
He does.
He makes us look dumb. It's
That's
cool.
impressive.
Wow. Okay, well, if you're going to have a favorite snake, it's got to be that one.
Yeah.
That's the king of all snakes.
Or an anaconda.
Or an anaconda.
Don't want none.
Okay, anyways. So I knew you were going to do that. That's awesome. That's a really cool. So he does have a pet snake.
He does have a pet snake.
What's
it
his
was he renamed it Spike. It was actually my pet snake
That is
when
a-
I was 5.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
So
you've had him
it's-
for a while.
Oh yeah, this snake is
Wow.
like way past his life expectancy.
I wish we had
so.
pictures.
I was about to say, how long are snakes supposed to live?
I mean, this type of snake's only supposed to live like 15 to 18, and
Oh,
obviously
only.
it's been
Yeah.
a little bit.
That's a long time.
Well, he's lived a little bit longer than that, so
Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy.
It's
He's lived a
interesting.
while.
Cool. That
Guess
is
it
so cool.
Depends
I
on
like
how you
snakes.
care for them.
Snakes are
Yeah.
cool. They just like wrap, around your arm and you just like carry it
They
around.
wrap around your neck and suffocate you.
I like
fine.
them. They're clean. I mean,
That's true.
like they're
just
low
stay there,
maintenance.
yeah.
They just sit there.
You have to feed them what, like once a month? Like,
Yeah, like once, twice a month. That's great.
There you go.
I can't help but think if someone like turns on their computer right now and they're like, "Oh man, it's a snake episode.
never mind. Oh, that's funny.
I hate snakes," and they turn it off.
Anyways, that is really cool that he has a pet snake. Really cool.
Oh, he's so cute.
He
That
is so
smile.
cute. He is so cute. Awesome. So now, what are your plans for his future, for your future? What are the next steps that you're wanting to take?
Well, I will say he is so excited for me to finish school because
He's so supportive.
yes, he is. He's the sweetest. Mostly because he just hates the fact that books sometimes take me away from him from playtime.
Oh yeah, well that makes sense.
You're like,
Yeah,
I have to
He'll
leave to-
put his hand like on top of my book and just pretend like he's not doing it.
Aw.
Just like that. Just like that.
That is so funny.
Yeah. So,
Oh man, cool.
This is a random question that I've wanted to ask a mom. So, some people when they have
Oh,
like,
here we
no,
go.
no,
I know.
it's not.
I'm
It's,
scared too.
no, I was just gonna ask, like, when he's younger, do you talk about yourself in third person, like, "Mommy has to do this," or do you say, "I have to do this"? Because like, it's
That's
such a weird.
that's really interesting.
It's a weird question because, like, I've noticed sometimes parents, they talk to their kids different ways, and your kid can grow up differently by the way that you talk to them. Like, if you kind of like, if you talk about yourself, like, "Oh, well, mommy is doing this," or "Mommy is doing, whatever," or you could be like, "I'm going to the store," or "I'm blah blah blah." Like, I'm just wondering, like, if you remember talking to him a certain way.
I mean,
Super random.
Yeah,
So
no,
random.
that's like it's making me think because I honestly don't know. Like
Mixture of
I
both,
know
maybe?
yeah, it's honestly
Yeah.
a mixture of both, and maybe I talked more third person when he was younger. Maybe more when he was like a toddler. That's really interesting. I've never really thought about it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a mixture of both, probably, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
why I did it though.
Yeah,
just because. Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm out and I see parents talk to their kids, I notice they like will kind of baby them when they're like 5 or 6.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they talk to them like they're not people, but they're kind of like babies. But I'm wondering if the dynamic changes or if they grow up sooner because you talk to them more like a person instead of like your.
Like in the movie Meet the Parents.
No, that's really interesting. I wonder.
Like, have you guys seen the movie Meet the Parents?
Yeah.
When he's like. Talk to him like he's an adult
know
or
exactly
whatever,
what you're talking
and the kid is like, you know, the guy starts talking to him like his baby, and the kid like looks at him like he's crazy. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, maybe not. That's a funny movie. Yeah. You know what? That brings me to a really good question though. Like you reminded me of this. So have you ever been judged on like a parenting style? Like maybe you decide to discipline him one way, and then somebody who's maybe a little bit older says you should have done it maybe this other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think every mom has to deal with that.
Do you think it has to do with your age, though, maybe? Or it did have to do with your age?
I think it has to do with me being a first-time mom more so, and maybe not knowing all the way what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes people do throw in their 2 cents when they shouldn't.
Right. Yeah.
But it's happened a few times. Nothing like someone out in like somebody random that I don't know. Oh my gosh, I would not deal with that. Okay, but I mean, other than that, just mostly like maybe my mom or Trayson's other grandma, kind of, you know, more so giving their advice, and then. All of my family members have different opinions on discipline. Literally all of them have
every single one is a different
timeouts, like spanking.
Punishment.
Yeah.
Okay. So has anyone ever tried to give you advice who wasn't a mom, and you were just kind of like, how'd you deal with that?
I didn't think about that.
Like any of your friends, I mean, you know, were any of them like, oh, you should try this, and you know?
Yeah, actually, I did. I've had some friends. Trayson, he was like 2 at the time. You know, terrible 2s. This kid was acting up. I'm not gonna lie. he was being bad.
What was he doing?
Just running around, kind of. I mean, we were at a person's house. Yeah, but I mean, he was just
a little out of control, like all kids.
Yes, like all kids. Like there wasn't toys there. So I mean, he was just bored. And then my friends kind of just started like yelling at him, like telling him to sit down and stuff, and it just like threw me off because I guess she thought that would be like the correct way to discipline him. I'm like, he doesn't even know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, that's really not something I've had to deal with that much. Other than just like maybe my friends trying to put in like their opinion, even though they don't have any kids yet.
Yeah.
But mostly it is.
How do you like handle that? Like, do you just tell them like, I know what I'm doing, or do you actually like, you know, maybe take some of their advice sometimes?
Yeah,
I feel like I would get really defensive.
I would too.
That particular situation, I did. I got really defensive, but I guess that was more so them taking it into their own hands rather than giving me advice on how to do it.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a little like crossing the line. If someone
that I definitely got upset about. But yeah, I don't think it's really been anything that I've had to
like deal with, like, it's too hard. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it hasn't been a major issue for me.
Gotcha. Well, is there anything else that you want to share that, you know, like just at any point in your story that we haven't asked you about yet? Did you want to maybe elaborate more on, like, you know, maybe the bullying, or was there, you know, anything specific that happened, you know, during high school that you want to share, or anything afterwards? Now, good news, anything that we haven't asked you yet?
Yeah, I don't know. Just, I mean, like I said earlier, as far as like advice for anyone else, again, things will be okay. I mean, life happens, and, you know, obviously like me, I wasn't expecting to get pregnant at 17. I wasn't expecting to, you know, have to go walk the halls of high school with a belly. or, you know, have to go through college with a child. But, you know, it's all doable. It's all been part of the journey. And I will say definitely what makes it all worth it is, you know, having Trayson come up to me, even on a Saturday morning, like, Mommy, I love you so much. Like, and when I say he is the sweetest, he'll tell me I'm the most beautiful mom in the world. Like, it is the sweetest thing.
You've obviously raised him right. Like, that is
he's
so
gonna be
sweet.
such a heartbreaker.
Oh my gosh.
Such a gentleman already.
Yes.
What are you most nervous for? Like, which stage of his life are you most nervous for, do you think? Speaking of heartbreaking teenage years.
Honestly, it's kind of interesting, but what I'm really kind of nervous or scared about is having to explain to him what the circumstances were for where, you know, he came from. Because I know at some point it's going to come up, well, why aren't, you know, you and Dad together?
Right.
Or, you know, for some reason that just, it really frightens me because I don't want him to feel like he, you know,
comes from a different situation than other kids, maybe.
Exactly. I want him to feel like has always had a place.
He's
here.
loved and he has a purpose.
A purpose. Yes, that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
well, the fact that you're thinking, you know, a little ahead on it, maybe, you know, make it a little bit easier. Do you think that he would ask that anytime soon, or do you think that'll be a conversation further down the road?
He's asked it, and I have to change the subject.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah. Apart from that, I guess being nervous. I feel like I don't really have to be nervous because, like, I have so much faith in him. He's a 6-year-old, but
that is like the best answer we could have hoped for.
He's gonna do great.
That's my favorite picture right there.
Yeah, that's really
That
cute.
is such a good one.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
Such a good picture.
So how do you think this has made you kind of like formed your whole being, like made you stronger in the long run by facing all the stares and all the judgments and changing your entire future just for Trayson? Do you think, like, I know it's had to have impacted you and changed your entire life in a way, but do you think that, like, emotionally and mentally, like, you're stronger from that in a sense?
Oh yeah, I think absolutely. There's just there's like things that I've been through that I even wonder now, like, how did I do that? Like, how did I make it? But
yeah, because hardly anybody goes through that. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, that's got to be really difficult, especially talking about like the bills aspect and being 18 and living by yourself with a baby, paying rent, paying daycare, all of that. I mean,
you got to grow up fast.
That's exactly, yeah, exactly. It was a lot of maturing when I was at a time when I was very immature. I mean, I sometimes say it's like I was a kid having a kid. You know, that's where your maturity is at 18, at 17, at 18. You're not mature enough. You're not ready to raise a kid. You're not ready to I guess take care of anyone else other than yourself.
Yeah. Is that still your opinion now? Like the age thing, as far as like having a baby and things, like, do you have an opinion on what age is right or what maturity level is right?
I do think everyone is different. And I do think that, you know, even if a wrong situation happens, I mean, something good can come out of it. So, yeah, I mean,
obviously it was all worth it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when do you think you'll have another?
Probably not for a while.
Are you wanting to have more kids?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Trayson even wants siblings, so.
Oh, he's asked you about it? Does he want a brother or a sister, both?
Yeah, he goes back and forth. Sometimes he'll tell me, Mom, I changed my mind. I actually want a brother now. Okay, thank you for letting me know.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, let me just make that happen for you.
Okay. Like, just give me some time.
Yeah, right.
And then he'll ask, like, we're waiting on Jesus? Yes, we are waiting.
Yes, exactly.
We're waiting for Jesus.
So dating, is that hard? Is that like,
Oh,
how is that dynamic?
So
When do you bring that up? Yeah, like.
Yeah, I've actually been with my boyfriend for 3 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
he is amazing with Trayson. He
Oh my
is
God.
like apart from my parents, he's the biggest, most helpful support that I could possibly have.
Oh my God, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, that
Yes.
makes me so happy too.
Oh my gosh. I wish you sent us a picture of you and your boyfriend now.
I wish I would have included one.
That's okay. That's so
he's-
awesome.
yeah.
How did y'all meet?
We met through mutual friends at UNT.
Yeah.
We actually started out as friends and then just ended up more coming out of it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. He's actually known Trayson since Trayson was 1.
Oh,
Even though we haven't actually been together for that long, he met him and he knew who he was. So it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
That's awesome. And Trayson knows that he's your boyfriend, like, or a special friend. What do you call him to him?
Boyfriend. I mean, we've
Whatever you want to go.
we've all 3 lived together for 2 years now. So I mean,
Awesome.
he's very, I guess, used to him. Like
Yeah.
that's.
He knows what's going on.
Is he a father figure to
Yes,
him?
absolutely. Yeah.
What does he
He's-
call him? What does Trayson call your boyfriend?
We're being so invasive.
I know, sorry. Are we being too personal?
It's okay. So for a while, I guess whenever Trayson's dad was at school, and we began living together, Trayson was very, very clingy to my boyfriend, and he started, calling him dad, and we did have to, let him know that, that wasn't his, I guess, actual dad. It was a kind of a difficult conversation to have. Trying to explain it to a young kid.
Yeah.
How old was he?
That would have been, he would have been 5.
5.
More so, when we had like a bigger conversation about it. He was about 5. But I think more so it was his other side of the family that helped out more with that, and I guess clearing it up. Because when his dad came home for the summer, they kind of established, hey, this is your dad. That's who you call dad. You don't call my boyfriend dad. Is what was said. But
Every family is different, I mean, I've seen family dynamics where it's a situation like that, and the kid does call both
exactly.
dad, and
I've
then
seen that. Mhm.
yeah, it's all about what you
It's all up
guys
to
are
you and your
comfortable with.
preference. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So the way I've looked at it is, I'm always going to let Trayson, make his own decisions as far as, I will never be the person to push his dad out of the picture. I mean, if his dad isn't there, it's not because of me, it's because of him. I'll never be that person to do that.
That's good.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So what about any advice for somebody who is going through a situation where they wind up, pregnant at a young age, but their parents are not as maybe supportive as yours? What would you say to somebody going through that type of situation?
I would say find some sort of support system, because honestly, no one can go through it by themselves. Not emotionally, not physically. I mean, you can't. You need somebody, something to lean on. Whether that be friends, whether that be relatives, whether that be
Groups. I'm sure they have groups for these things.
Anything.
Yeah.
I actually do know there's a lot of I guess what would it be, single
mom,
like
support groups.
church organizations for like pregnant moms and stuff like that.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of a few of them. I think it's a great thing that they have.
Cool. Awesome. Any last remarks? You think you got pretty much your whole story out there? Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I think I'd
Pretty
like to
much
think
got
I
it all
got most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you want to thank, personally? What would you say now to somebody, like your parents or your boyfriend? What do you want to say to them?
On the spotlight. Well, definitely, my boyfriend knows that I would thank him so much. Because honestly, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it without him. He has been amazing and so supportive. For example, let me just share. I mean, he went out and he bought all of Trayson's school supplies for the school year this year. It's just like the little things that just mean so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then obviously my parents, I couldn't have made it without them as well. I mean, they provide me all the support that I need, financially, emotionally, everything. So I definitely have them to lean on.
Yeah, well, we really wanted to have you on so you could tell your story, because a lot of the times people, they see a teen mom or they see someone so young with a child, and they just start making judgments or assumptions about someone. And it's good just to kind of, even though people aren't face to face with you, it's good to hear someone's story and hear them out and to understand like what you had to go through and the judgments you have to face and how you can overcome these obstacles and become stronger.
Yeah, I mean, because you obviously have, you know, you're about to graduate college, you have a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, Trayson's in school, you have a great relationship. I mean, it sounds like
a
you
standout kid.
Yeah, he sounds like an amazing child. Like, I mean, he's really cute. You know, you're beautiful. I mean, it seems like you pretty much like have it all. I mean, seriously, it really like from an outside perspective, even because when we were, you know, trying to think of, you know, somebody who was strong and, you know, somebody worth having, you know, share their story with us. I mean, you seriously were the first person that came to my mind. I know we don't know each other very well, but I was like, I mean, just seeing you on social media, I'm like, she just has it all. Like somehow she has made her situation into like the best possible case scenario that she could have made it into. So, I mean, to hear how you did that and the struggles you faced to get there is really special. So thank you for coming on with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Well, we're pretty much out of time now. So, again, Sierra,
There's a California king snake.
is that what it looks like? Oh,
That
that's such
is-
a cool snake. How long do those get?
I'm not sure how
Ziggy?
long. Do you know?
Ziggy, you've got to know. You know everything.
I have the
Tell
internet
us.
at my fingertips. I can find out.
Tell us how big those snakes.
Back
I mean,
to
if they
the
eat
snake.
other snakes, they've got to be pretty large,
Yeah.
right?
They could
Tell
probably
us.
get up to
I
a
am
couple
looking
feet.
it up.
I know ours
Well-
is maybe 3.5 feet.
3.5 feet.
That's a child.
Is he taller than? Well, Trayson's pretty tall though. He looks pretty tall.
Oh my
I don't
gosh,
think you ever like
he's so
hold it
tall.
up. Like, how tall's Trayson getting? Like you with the snake.
Average size is 3 to 4 feet.
That's pretty. I mean,
That's
that's
a
almost as
child.
tall as me. That is insane.
3 to 4 feet.
I'm 5 feet tall, 5'2". I
Okay.
mean, that's pretty tall.
off.
I mean, I'm not tall. Not the snake is tall.
Yeah.
Anyways, on the next episode of the Millennial Monologues podcast, we're going to have on another guest, but I will not be here. Sad. Lexi is going to be interviewing Weston Pugh. He is also another podcast host. He's pretty much just going to be talking to us about the home buying process, all things renter's insurance, all things buying homes, how to prepare yourself to buy a home and sell it back for more profit. Pretty much the whole 9 yards.
houses,
Flipping houses.
Anything you need to know about home buying or getting a new home, renting home, anything like that.
Decor,
A
even.
lot
We're
of
going to talk
millennials
about.
are getting into that. So
Yeah, we're all trying to buy houses nowadays, so why not learn how with us? So that's what's coming up
with
next
the most
week.
qualified person.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous to leave her by herself, but it's too late now. It's already booked. So that's what's coming up next week on the Millennial Monologues podcast. You can catch us on your own time, anytime on Facebook or YouTube or SoundCloud or our very own website, themillennialmonologues.com. So thanks so much for tuning in.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.